Well, hello everybody. This is Gina, also known as Peace, coming to you guys. Wow, what a wonderful new year, right? A beautiful start. I actually got up at like 7 this morning, got dressed, actually went out, took the dog for a walk. So that's a new thing for me because I don't like being out in the cold and I'm usually not up this early, especially outside walking. But I did it. But I wanted to come to you and talk to you about my spiritual progress and where I am right now. Right now, my only desire is to do the will of God for my life. So God talks to me every day, guides me in many ways to show me the path to take and direction to go and what to do. I know that I'm here to give love, show love, spread love, teach love, love myself. I have no other desire than to serve God except for one, and that is to have another relationship, a truly helpful one, helpful, healthy relationship before I depart this earth. Other than that, I'm ready to go whenever God calls for me. I have no attachments. I have no desire for wealth or riches or any material things. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much free. I can go wherever I want to go. Uh, you know, I find myself, I don't want to say the word blessed because that's a special meaning, but I'm doing good. I've experienced two magnificent things in my lifetime thus far. One just recently during bringing in the new year, I had extreme joy, extreme joy. And I believe that was a blessing from God for all of my hard work that I've been doing on my spiritual journey this past year and a half. And I think that was just a gift from God and also like a reward saying, okay, look, you're on the right path. You're doing the work. Enjoy. And so I know, and although that came from a CBD, which is amazing because I've smoked marijuana and never in my life have I felt that type of extreme joy in my life from any marijuana cigarette. So that's why I say there was a spiritual component attached to that, unless somebody else is going to say, I was telling my brother about this, and he said, well, ask Snoop Dogg what he experiences when he smokes marijuana. Maybe that's what he experiences too. So I don't know, but I know for me, and I've only smoked that CBD once, and I had an extreme joy, an extreme pleasure. And actually, I have no desire to experience it again. Like, there's nothing pulling me. I mean, it was wonderful and everything, but that's because I have enough joy inside of me naturally that I've already developed, that I do not need to go and seek out some chemical to give me some pleasure. So that was a gift. So that's number one. And then the other thing that I've experienced, which I experienced many years ago, over 30 years ago maybe, was that I had a period where I had this supreme understanding, or I don't know if it's understanding, but it was just a complete unconditional acceptance of everyone, to the point so that I understood them. Whatever they said, whatever they did, I had absolute comfort, and the words that came out of my mouth to them gave them comfort. I mean, and I remember it most significantly with my mother. As you see, my mother was a drug addict, okay? She had been addicted to heroin majority of her life. And so I had a lot of difficulty with her, okay? But when I went into this period of understanding, I have to say it was divine understanding. When I interacted with her, there was complete acceptance Um, I wasn't even, I didn't even think about her condition. But I know that everything that came out of my mouth, it gave her comfort. And I had like an understanding and a complete acceptance. It was like the best experience. I was in high school at this time too. And I remember with my peers in high school, and see, let me give you some backdrop. Because I come from a dysfunctional family and had to deal with a drug addicted mother, had to deal with abandonment syndrome, and neglect, and attachment disorder. Had to deal with all those things. I was extremely inhibited. Okay, like I was afraid to talk because I used to get into fights and everything. So I had come to the place where I said, I'm gonna just shut my mouth because I don't want to fight. And I would get into fights because I had so much hurt and pain inside of me that when I spoke, it came out, and I ended up getting into arguments and disagreements and fights with other people when I was a kid. And when I went into high school, I had made the decision I was going to shut my mouth because I didn't want to fight anymore. That's not the direction I wanted to go in. So I was very quiet, and people thought I was stuck up. That wasn't the case at all. I just was afraid to open my mouth and speak because I did not want to get into any more conflicts with anyone. So that was my best solution at the time. So against this backdrop, I had this miraculous experience where now, I would just talk, and I had this extreme, it wasn't the extreme joy I recently experienced, but I had no fear whatsoever, and I was okay with talking, and truly I think I was my true self. I was my true self. Because I was just being completely free and open and accepting and talking. And my peers were looking at me like, who is this person? Who is this? Who is this? This is not the Regina we know. They call me Regina back then. This is not the Regina that we know. Who is this person? So a lot of them looked at me like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And I knew it, but I couldn't explain it. I just knew that I felt free. I was no longer inhibited. Those things that held me back or had me tied up, they weren't there. But this feeling did not last. But it was a glimpse that God gave me into what is possible. So then, of course, I went back to who I had been. And then, I was again, to myself and quiet and everything. And so it has been a gradual process of me coming out of that. I have to say that I have not achieved that place where I was, but God showed me what is possible. So I've had 2 experiences of the ultimate of what is possible. So I'm telling you all, continue your spiritual journey. There is so much more to life than what is the average experience. And if you think like sex and orgasm is like the greatest experience you've ever had, let me tell you, honey, it's so much more than that. I'm telling you now. Okay? And just from the extreme joy I experienced bringing in this new year, sex ain't got nothing on that. You hear me? I'm telling y'all. But I think, again, that was a gift from God. Because I've been doing my work, because, like I said, I only exist now to do the will of God. Okay? And so I think that was just basically a reward, a blessing from God. So here, my child, you've been putting in the work, you're doing in the work. I'm proud of the direction that you're going. And so this is for you. Enjoy. And so it also encourages me too, because like I said, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to leave this over whenever God takes me, because there's nothing holding me here. And I want to go to a place where love is already the foundation. See, we live on other planets, not necessarily in human form, but there's life on other planets, okay? So I want to go to a planet where love already exists, because remember, I come from a background of extreme, I ain't gonna say extreme dysfunction, but a lot of dysfunction, where I did not receive that love in childhood because my mother was a drug addict. Okay? And there was, and I experienced a lot of extreme, neglect and all of that stuff. So I've been through the fire. So I'm ready to go. Because where there is love is already the foundation. So now I'm basically here for the rest of my life to do the will of God and spread the message of my life and the lessons that I've learned to help others on this journey. Because I believe we are all, every single one of us, ultimately designed to experience extreme joy, okay, and peace. And yes, we're going to have our struggles and everything like that. That's a part of growth. We have our lessons to learn. We have to endure every single thing there is possibly to endure on earth, to learn to grow through it. The ultimate outcome is to learn to love through it and continue to love yourself and others. I don't know what my future holds, but I do know that I love God. I love myself. I've committed to doing the will of God for my life and to showing and spreading love wherever I go, to whomever I meet. God bless y'all.